Hey, it's Jack from Alpha Charts with a stocks to watch video. Today is February 11th, 2024. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Step one. Step two, you'll find me at Twitter at AlphaCharts365. I post things all day long, all night long, many times, um, for free on Twitter. If you really like my stuff, I do have a subscription group. I give a ton of market information. It's only $10 a month. I mean, if first off, it's an amazing deal for as much information as you're getting. Second, it's invaluable to the people that just need a second thought, a second opinion on what they're seeing in the market. Trading is can be very kind of isolating at times, and having that second person just to kind of say, okay, here's what I'm seeing. That's invaluable. Third is a lot of y'all work full time. I work full time, but I do the research anyway, and I share that research with everybody. And keep everyone up to date. So you don't have to spend the hours and hours and hours I'm spending in the market doing the research. You could spend a fraction of that time, understand what's going on, at least from my point of view, and then make your own decisions about what you'd like to do. So for $10 a month, that is just again invaluable amount of information. Go to Alpha Charts 365, click on the subscribe button. There's a link there, and subscribe. I think it's totally worth it. And then the best part is if you don't like it, it's a month-to-month thing. There's no contracts. You just cancel anytime you want to. But I think you're gonna like it, and that's not something that you're gonna want to do. The third thing is, I just started a quick hits. It's an email. We'll call it newsletter, even though it's not really a newsletter. It's just my thoughts on the market. I'm gonna probably do one for tomorrow morning, and it's not gonna be on a specific timeline. It's gonna be whenever I feel like I want to share something. So it's not gonna be an everyday email. Um, it's not going to be, any kind of, it's just, and it's not going to be long. It's going to be to the point. Like this is when I wrote about solar a couple days ago, February 8th. And basically, I give a few charts, a few blurbs, and that's the whole email. So it's something that you're going to want to open because you don't have to spend 5 minutes reading it. No one wants to spend 5 minutes reading emails. Um, but it gives you my thoughts, it gives you my charts, gives you potential setup or whatever I'm thinking at that time. So check it out. It's on Beehive, at alphacharts.beehive.com. There's also a link for both of those in the description below this video on YouTube. So you can just click that quick link if you want to. This is completely free. And again, it's just my thoughts on the markets, or what, not even on the markets, on something I'm seeing, something that looks interesting, something that interests me, that fascinates me. And it may or may not be, obviously it's just whatever my thoughts are. All right, so check that out on Beehive. All right, let's get to these charts. We have the SPY. We have a beautiful breakout, giant base. Zooming in here, we do have, this morning I was looking at this and it is kind of wedging a little bit. And not every wedge has to break down, but do we get a shakeout or back and fill and let the moving averages catch up? Yeah, I think it's a very good possibility. You see the decrease in volume, and maybe we do get some sort of shakeout here that makes people a little edgy or something like that. That would just be very healthy for the market. I'd like to see this, 487 level hold, the 23 day, and maybe even, 498. But if we shake out 1 or 2%, there's 1.5%, something like that. People will call for the end of the world, and that may be good for the bulls, right? But there are some good-looking charts showing up, so let's go into them. Of course, I always try to give you at least 10 charts in this video that look like they could be setting up for the week. The first one is Carvana. If I can spell right, I'll get it up there. CVNA. All right, Carvana. I'm going to go to a weekly chart on this one because I think the weekly chart shows things way better. And there's, you see, we were talking about Carvana. Get rid of all that in my subscriber group in the past. And this looks very promising on the weekly. And not only that, but it has a gigantic short float. Um, I think that's what my next beehive is going to be about. These short floats that are setting up, because there's quite a few of them. I'm looking at the short float right now, about 35% short float rate. That's the data I have at least. And this is a beautiful base. So very clean on the weekly, right? How nice is that? So unfortunately, I did not get into it this week when we're up 22%. But really, this move is probably just starting, and with that type of short float, it could squeeze. So we'll keep watching it. I think that it may have some opportunities coming up, especially if we get maybe a pullback, right, to start the week. That could be an opportunity. Let's go to the daily. I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. Um, right, if we get a pullback, to $50, 50 and a quarter, right? Maybe the low of this bar or something like that, somewhere in here, I can very easily manage risk. Now, it's a very fast moving stock. It could go against you very quickly. So you may want to consider a later position or just manage your risk, however you want to. Maybe a 10% drop is okay with you, and that's fine too. Next up, it is Super Bowl morning. So let's go with DraftKings. Let's see what they look like. DraftKings, beautiful cup and handle. There's the breakout right there, right? Big cup and handle. Tons of accumulation showed up here as it's just marching higher. Yeah, maybe it needs to pull back to $41, $42. That's fine, right? That'd be just perfect entry spot, right? If we get a little pullback to 42, does have earnings coming up? It says February 15th. Check your own dates. Sometimes, things could be a little bit off here, but it says this week. So know your earnings dates. I don't buy before earnings, but that's just me. Next up is IoT. So this is one that I've been watching. I've been shaken out of this one quite a few times, maybe two or three times. It's been choppy trade, no doubt. But this looks a little bit more promising. Maybe I'm wrong. It's coming up here to all-time highs. Moving averages are starting to really align bullishly. Would love to see a little pullback here. Maybe right into VWAP, 33, 33.50, something like that. Let them, maybe into the 9-day EMA, let the moving averages catch up just a little bit and then take off. That would be my preferred area. And then you can potentially buy on a small amount on the pullback or buy on the breakout or a little bit of both, right? Um, Next up is FOUR, shift for payments. Again, I'm going to go just to a weekly chart just to clean it up a little bit. It's a little sometimes, but look at the weekly chart. Again, a nice base trying to break out. We can get above, this $78, $79 area. Yeah, I think maybe we get back to all-time highs, right? It's $100, $105, something like that. That's a nice little move, 25% move higher. Going back to the daily, and you can see, again, just needs to kind of clear this $79 or so. Next up, GLBE. Beautiful trend line break, nice big move. Again, a lot of these are a little bit more extended than what I like. Nice little pullback, let the 9-day catch up. Does have earnings in 2 weeks, right? That's what the gray flag means in Deep View. By the way, I'm using Deep View. If you like the software, go to deepview.com, check it out. The best screener out there by far. And they keep adding more and more great features. February 21st is what it says. So again, a little too close for me to get involved, but definitely something I am watching into earnings. It is earnings season. Know your dates. Sprout Social. Another one. Let's go to the weekly on this. All of these are big, big bases, right? Here's your weekly. Again, kind of ragged in here. And look how this looks. And then look how this side looks. To me, this is a much tighter price action. This is much looser and just yucky price action. This is much, much nicer. Now it has to get above, the $70 level or so for me to really consider it. Does have earnings on February 20th. So again, know your dates, but it's setting up nicely. And that's what the watch list is for, right? Not everything will be actionable Monday morning. Next one is Shark Ninja. I haven't looked at this one in a while. And I don't know when the IPO lockup is. So definitely check that out. And it has earnings this week. So watch this one for potential earnings mover. But I love this little kind of breaking this little downtrend line, and we got earnings. So if we get a hold above 52-ish, right? This is a name that we could potentially play right after earnings. Shark Ninja looks really, really good. And it's great, great name. APP. This is AppLovin, name that I have been involved in the past. You see, there was me and my subscribers were involved in this one, and the little pullback that it did on the last 2 days has given us opportunity to potentially get involved again. And this one is very actionable, right? Oh, no, I lied. February 14th, it has earnings. Gosh. Right. So it looks great. February 14th earnings. Know your dates. That's on Wednesday, I believe. Um, but this is definitely one that looks great. When you go to the weekly chart, again, a lot of these bases have been going on for so long that the weekly chart is really the only chart to watch. This was, if you're interested in the subscriber group, this was the note back on January 18th. This is how I do my focus list. I do a video and I also do annotated charts. And so basically, this is the way I annotate my charts. And I'll put subsequent add-on information if needed as things go. Um, anyway, so February 18th, by the way, was right over here, right in this week. So done pretty good since. Um, Anyway, this app loving, know your dates, but it looks really good on the weekly. Next up is MPC. This is an oil and gas company. Again, this was another one that me and my subscribers could have been in, and I actually do own some. Let's see, I from 2-4. So starting in here, that's where I bought right in there. Um, yeah, and so it's just kind of moving higher, doing nothing wrong. It's not gonna be the fastest moving name. You see 3%, 2%, right, in a week, which is fine. But it's moving to all-time highs, right? It's all-time highs. It's in the oil and gas, beaten down area, and I like names that are at all-time highs and beaten down areas. Um, it tells you which ones are really, really the strongest names in that group. And Marathon is absolutely the strongest in this group. If you think there could be a rotation into oil and gas, um, I think this is one that you should consider. Uh, and you see here on the daily how tight these bars are getting. Again, I think it's a very, very, you know, break above this area right there. Gives another great entry, call it 171, 75, 172, something like that. Looks good. Next up, and the last one is AMD. AMD. Again, another one I really like. You see, this was a name this was this past week that I talked about with subscribers. Again, and I want you to know this free video that I'm giving out, I'm not giving out like junky names. These are names that I'm watching, right? For me and my subscription group. Now, obviously, I do a lot more with the subscription group, but I just wanted you to see that I'm giving you all good names. It's been a little choppy in here, but overall, it's a good looking kind of bull flag look. I like that there's been decreased volume as we've come into this, as we've consolidated here. 20 moving averages are all caught up now, and I would expect a break of this trend line above, 175.50-ish or so, 175, something like that. And I think AMD could start the next leg higher. It's been kind of a laggard actually, and I'm not sure why. But ever since earnings, basically, it's been kind of a laggard, and you see some of the selling pressure in there. But I think it's just my opinion from this strength, going from 93 to 183. That is, again, let's look at the weekly. 93 to 183 over 11 bars. It's gone all the way up there, even 12 bars, we'll call it. And now it's just consolidating. That's it. High tide flag-esque doesn't meet the perfect criteria of a high tide flag, but it has the idea of a high tide flag in it. And so I'm very interested in something that looks high tide flag-esque. Okay. And that's the last name I have for you. So it's a great looking list. Some of them do have earnings, so know your dates and decide how you want to play them, or if you even want to play them. That's the beauty of this market, right? We have the choice to put our money to work where and when we want to, or not to, right? And that's awesome too. If you haven't done so, Alpha Charts 365, check me out there. Subscribe. I think you'll be happy with it. Beehive, that's a no-brainer. All the links and everything are below the video, right in the description right below. So please check that out. Good luck this week. Take care.